Hi Taurus, welcome to your October Astro-Tarot scope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. A little later than usual, I apologise, but it's been a crazy month. So if you are a continued subby, you know Rafi loves you. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and all of you, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. So here you go, your Astro-Tarot scope. As you know, the weekly sign readings are back. Make sure you check those out on the Sunday evening now. So your weekly general has moved to a Sunday evening slot to help you set up for your week a little better. I'm going to create a little video later on as well, just to kind of let you guys know how to navigate everything and all the other good stuff that I've got coming up. Now, because these are Astro-Tarot scopes, I do advise if you're only going to watch one, make sure it's for your ascendant, because it's likely to be the most accurate. They are astrology based, and you know, astrology, when it comes to this, your ascendant is always going to be more accurate. With that said, remember they're general readings. Not everything's going to resonate with everybody. That is just fine. You should always use your own discernment. If you want to get a personal reading, you can do it on the description box below. And I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, on the 3rd of October, the first transit that I want to look at, on the 3rd of October, Mars comes into a conjunction with the South Node. Now, this happens once every one and however many years, but it's a really interesting energy because Mars itself is an energy of action, energy, passion, vibrancy, but it's also a severing, cutting, removing kind of energy, or sometimes an irritant, right? And so the fact that you've got this coming into connection or conjunction with the South Node, which is about release, excretion, removal, elimination, getting rid of, right? The springboard that we kick off from to head towards where we are meant to be going is South Node stuff. And so for you, this is happening in the sign. So for all of us, it's happening in the sign of Libra, but for you, that means that it's happening in your 6th house. So your 6th house, your work, your routine is your work house, your routine house is being highlighted. How you do and maintain your life on a day-to-day basis, your habits, your working, your day-to-day routines, your rituals, all of that stuff, even your duties are coming up here. And so this could bring up conversations for you about who's pulling their weight and who's not pulling their weight. There might be some kind of irritation here, and it's possible that it gets this could be just a really busy time for you while Mars moves through this, through the rest of this energy. Now, around this time, be careful with harsh words and conversations. The reason I say this is because the South Node is involved. There's a possibility that you have a conversation, that you say something that you will not be able to take back. Remember, whenever we're talking about the nodes of the moon, we're talking about fated energies, right? So the fact that we've got these two coming together, it's like whatever is removed, it's removed for good. There'll be no going back from this. So you just make sure that you do it right. What does look nice about this is it's a perfect moment to break a bad habit, to remove something for good from this area of your life, right? Maybe you want to quit smoking, maybe you want to stop eating sugar. Like, you could have great results with using this transit specifically for that. Be careful with words spoken, like I said, because there's no coming back from it. For this, you have the Page of Swords. So there are going to be potentially harsh conversations with this one for you guys. I'm sorry to say there's no getting around it. And it's likely to center around your work, right? Around your work, your day-to-day habits, the people that you work with, your colleagues, etc. You got this with the Six of Pentacles. So it does suggest there's potentially a financial element to this. So let's say you're employed by somebody else and the boss comes into the office and says, by the way, guys, there's a whole bunch of overtime coming up. If anyone wants to earn some extra money, jump in, right? And this actually, with this combination, it could literally be that. However, because this is happening in your 6th house and it's Mars conjunct the South Node, you might look at this and say, well, hang on a sec, I don't think this should be open to the people that are not doing the work that's already assigned to them. So you might feel it like, well, no, this shouldn't be for everybody. This should be for the people that actually show up and work hard and perform. So, yeah. Another way this potentially shows up as well as a message or some kind of current communication within the work sphere reveals to you where there's something going on in the background that you've been unaware of and things are somewhat unevenly stacked. On the 9th of October, Venus, your ruling planet, comes into the sign of Virgo, which for you occupies the 5th house. So when Venus comes into the sign of Virgo, she's said to be in her detriment, right? So this is not the greatest space for Venus to be in. However, Venus does love to be in the 5th house. She does pretty decent stuff there. And she's coming into your romance sector, your pleasure zone, right? Venus likes the 5th house, so she could do some good stuff here. It's about romance and playfulness and speculative gambles. And I gotta say, because it's Virgo, Virgo has a precision to it, right? It has like a real powerful point of focus kind of energy in it. And so for that reason, if there's something where you think this is like a calculated risk, because the 5th house represents speculative gambles, where you put money on a horse, where you play the lottery. The 5th house is a very lucky space as well. Venus is a natural sweetener. She brings gifts and lightness and luck, you know, lady luck to whatever she touches. So if there's something that you look at and you think, you know what, it's a gamble, right? I can spend this 500-600 quid, you know, on this item, but I'm not entirely sure, right? You look at all the facts and the figures and you weigh it up and you're kind of like, you know what? Yeah, okay, that's a calculated risk. So you can do that kind of thing with this energy. It's also possible that this could be a mutual attraction to outdoors things, trips and journeys of a practical nature. And I really like this as well for some of you visiting places that you find beautiful and potentially finding someone in those places that you find beautiful. So it's like maybe you go to your favorite garden park or whatever, and you end up running into somebody there. Very, very possible. It's also, because this is trine to, so because it's an earth sign, it's trine to your ascendant in Taurus, if you are an ascendant in Taurus or a sun, and it's also trine to it's creating a trine for your earth signs and houses. So this is wonderful. Now, Venus as your ruler allows you to bring your best romantic self, your most playful self to the forefront. And if you've got children, they could be bringing untold joy at this time. So for this, you've got the 7 of Cups. So you just want to be mindful about how you are communicating. You've got this with the Page of Cups and with the 10 of Wands. So for a lot of you, it looks like Venus in Virgo is kind of going to get you to want to shirk your responsibilities. And I see some of you doing that. So you might have to work a little harder over the course of this month at least to really keep yourself on track and on target for whatever your tracks and your targets are. So I would just be very mindful, because look, there are worse problems to have than you're just having so much fun that you think, you know what, work can wait. I'll get to that, or I'll get to that, right? There are worse problems to have. It's when your deadline is, 3 days from now and you've just decided to fly to Ibiza for the weekend. Yeah, okay, that could be a problem. Do you know what I mean? But all in all, this I actually think is very nice. The thing with that 7 of Cups with the Page of Cups, though, there is like a shirking of like, well, I'd rather be doing this. We all have those moments. We all know that there are things we'd rather be doing than, some of the things that we know we have to do. But this potentially creates a problem for you further down the line if it's the example that I gave. If it's just that you've push things back and you say, well, it can wait because I know I'll get round to it, then cool, fair enough. Okay. For your, excuse me, on the 12th of October, Mars is coming into the sign of Scorpio, which for you occupies the 7th house. Mars comes into your relationship house, your connection house, your one-to-one connections is found in the 7th. So the relationship that you have with your doctor, the relationship that you have with your astrologer or your tarot reader, the relationship you have with your significant other, your marriage, your contracts, the things that you are tied to or spend a lot of time with on a one-to-one basis is all 7th house stuff. So the strong and powerful Mars, because it is a strong and powerful Mars, because it's in a sign that it rules. Mars is the original ruling planet of Scorpio. It might make relationships a little bit more intense. It could also energize your relationship. So if you're in a relationship, this could be like very sexy. It could be like really deep, really intimate, but like passionate and intense kind of intimate. It could also be very sexual, very fiery, and it might be that you demand the truth from your partner, that you demand justice or a deeper sense of loyalty from a partner. And this could be across the board as well. It doesn't have to be just your intimate connections, from your friends, your collaborators, your peers, your colleagues even. You know, you could be saying to people like, no, like, I want the truth. I want the ins and outs. Like, you want loyalty, and you won't take no for an answer on that. You might also decide that you're ready to forge new partnerships, and you might aggressively start acquiring new friends, maybe wanting to collaborate with a lot of people. It's like you're putting a lot of time, effort, and energy into building new partnerships. For this, you've got the Page of Wands, you've got the Magician, and you have the... you've got the Moon card. So there's a few ways that this could show up as well, right? The first thing that we see, you've got the Page of Swords, you've got the Page of Cups, you've got the Page of Wands. 3 pages represents an actual dispute. So watch out for this, because that Mars in the 7th has a potential to cause some irritation. Yeah, anyway, with the Page of Wands and the Magician card, this could be you really starting to work on a project or an idea that you have been wanting to do or to move towards for a very long time, but haven't had the time, the money, the energy, the resources. I am going to say that Mars in the 7th does suggest that you will need help, but the Moon card here basically says, especially the Moon with the Magician, don't just take anybody just for the sake of having someone to say, well, I'm not doing it on my own. You have to be really diligent, and you have to vet whoever it is that you're bringing into your sphere within an inch of their lives, okay? And then as well, when it comes to any and all professional collaborations, ties and works, the Moon card with the Magician and with that Page of Wands, there might be some confusion as to which idea is best for forward progression. If you are in charge, be in charge. That's all I'm going to say on that front. And then finally, on the 24th of October, the Moon is going to conjunct Saturn at 0 degrees of Pisces. Those two are going to trine the Sun at 0 degrees of Scorpio, and also Mercury, which is at 3 degrees of Scorpio, 3 degrees of Scorpio at this time. So for you, this is 7th house, 11th house stuff. It's making it easier for you to understand like who is going to be a part of your future and who is just dead weight. There's an honesty and a realness here that helps you really understand what relationships of the past have impacted your present, and how you decide to move forward by not doing it again. Do you know what I mean? It's a time of easy change in this area of your life, which I absolutely love. There's a lot of communication around career matters, around money, but it's in a way that makes you feel easy and it spurs you on. There's something here, like it could be like something that feels almost like a little bit heavy, but you're like, you use it for fuel, like it really, really fires you up. For this, you've got the 7 of Pentacles taking stock here with the Queen of Wands, throwing down some boundaries. Okay, I like it, with the Queen of Cups. So a good friend, 2 queens represent sincere friends. So a really good friend may actually be somebody that you confide in, or somebody that really helps you here. And because of this trine energy, this might be that somebody gives you, like, they give you a piece of information that you really need to see how far you've come on your personal journey. So I love, love, love that. And then for your moons, On the 14th of October, we've got the first new moon solar eclipse in the sign of Libra. So this is the first one, and for that you have the gate 6 and resolve. And so this sixth house moon for you, it's a new moon, but it's an eclipse. So this is a big fresh start in your day-to-day habits, your work, your routines, how you manage your day-to-day experience and life. And I think that's so cool that you got the 6 card as well, right? So very, very interesting. And this card it's not necessarily about having the resolve to see something through, although that is a part of it. And for the 6th house, it's very apt. It's also about you really closing something down in stellar fashion. So while this is a grand beginning of some sort that ushers something new in, you will be completing or ending something at the same time. And then for your full moon lunar eclipse on the 28th of October, you have the gate 47 and mindset. And the message behind this card is you can either, you know when they say like your mind is a garden, in which you sow seeds. Yeah, your mind is a garden in which you sow seeds. You can plant, and in it you can plant flowers or you can plant weeds. The weeds would be this, right? And the flowers would be the and if you've seen the meme that goes around on social media of the 2 guys sat on the bus, one sat looking at the rocks, all miserable and then the other one sat looking out the window where it's all happy and shiny and sunny. Where you look, where you focus matters. And the fact that you've got this full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Taurus, it's the last one in this cycle. It's going out with a bang and it's going to be very vocal. We're all going to be very vocal around what's coming up with this. And I think it will be a moment of powerful revelation for all of us, right? So where your mind is, whether it's optimistic or pessimistic, you're going to get a whole lot more of that. And since this is going out and we won't have eclipses in this sort of Scorpio Taurus axis again for another 9 years, see it out properly, all right? With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. If you want to get your own Astro-Tarot session, it's a one-on-one Zoom session with me. We're going to dig around into your transits. We're going to pull cards. Lots of fun to be had. And, hopefully I can help you really build your path forward using your astrology as well. So with that said, you can get that on the link in the description box below. Take care, and I'll see you soon.